Hello and welcome today. We're going to bust some common misconceptions about animals that you might have heard or believed for a long time. Let's get started. Myth 1. Ostriches bury their heads in the sand when they are scared. This is a classic one, but it's completely false. Ostriches are actually very fast runners and can reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers. They also have powerful legs and claws that can kick and injure predators. So why do people think they hide their heads in the sand? Well, it might be because ostriches sometimes lower their heads to the ground to avoid being seen by enemies, or because they dig holes in the dirt to lay their eggs and occasionally stick their heads in to check on them. But they never bury their heads completely. That would be silly and dangerous. Myth 2. Camels store water in their humps. This is another popular misconception, but it's not true either. Camels are amazing animals that can survive for long periods of time without drinking water, but they don't store it in their humps. Their humps are actually made of fat, which they use as a source of energy when food is scarce. Camels can conserve water by sweating very little, having thick fur that insulates them from heat, and having nostrils that can close to prevent water loss. They also have special blood cells that can expand and contract to adjust to the changes in water level. Myth 3. Bats are blind. This is a myth that has been around for centuries, but it's not accurate at all. Bats are not blind. They can see very well with their eyes, especially at night. However, they also have another sense that helps them navigate and find prey: echolocation. Echolocation is the ability to emit high-pitched sounds and listen to the echoes that bounce back from objects. This way, bats can create a mental map of their surroundings and avoid obstacles. They can also use echolocation to communicate with each other and locate mates. Myth 4. Elephants are afraid of mice. This is a myth that has been perpetuated by cartoons and movies, but it has no basis in reality. Elephants are not afraid of mice, or any other small animals for that matter. They are intelligent and curious creatures that can recognize and remember many different species. In fact, some elephants have been observed playing with or helping other animals, such as dogs, cats, and birds. They also have a strong sense of smell and touch that allows them to detect and explore things around them. Myth 5. Dogs see in black and white. This is a myth that has been debunked by science, but it still persists among some people. Dogs do not see in black and white. They can see colors, just not as many as humans can. Dogs have 2 types of color receptors in their eyes, called cones, while humans have 3. This means that dogs can see shades of blue and yellow, but not red and green. So, if you want to play fetch with your dog, don't use a red ball. Use a blue one instead. Or better yet, use a ball that squeaks or smells good, because dogs rely more on their hearing and smell than their vision. Myth 6. Goldfish have a 3-second memory span. This is a myth that has been used to justify keeping goldfish in small bowls or tanks, but it's totally wrong. Goldfish have a much longer memory span than 3 seconds. They can remember things for months or even years. They can recognize their owners, learn tricks, navigate mazes, and associate sounds with food. Goldfish are actually very smart, and social fish that need a lot of space and stimulation to thrive. They also have personalities and preferences that vary from individual to individual. Myth 7. Penguins mate for life. This is a myth that has been romanticized by many people, but it's not entirely true. Penguins are monogamous animals, which means that they stay with one partner for a breeding season, but not necessarily for life. Some penguin species, such as emperor penguins and king penguins, may switch partners every year or every few years. Other species, such as gentoo penguins and macaroni penguins, may stay with the same partner for longer periods of time or even for life. However, even in these cases, there is no guarantee that the pair will stay faithful or happy. Penguins may cheat, divorce, or fight with their mates, just like humans do. Myth: 8. Cows can't walk downstairs. This is a myth that has been used as a prank or a challenge by some people, but it's not fair to the cows. Cows can walk downstairs, but they don't like to do it, and they find it very difficult and uncomfortable. Cows have poor depth perception and can't see what's below them very well. They also have heavy bodies and rigid legs that make it hard for them to balance and bend on steep slopes. They also have hooves that are not designed for gripping slippery surfaces. So please don't try to make cows walk downstairs, it's not nice. And don't try to make them walk upstairs either, because they can't do that either. Myth 9. Sharks can smell a drop of blood from miles away. This is a myth that has been exaggerated by media and movies, but it's not entirely accurate. Sharks do have an amazing sense of smell, but they can't detect a single drop of blood from miles away. They can smell blood from a few hundred meters away, depending on the water conditions and the type of blood. They can also smell other things, such as urine, sweat, and fish oils. However, sharks are not mindless killers that attack anything that smells like blood. They are selective and curious predators that have different preferences and behaviors. Some sharks may be attracted by blood, while others may be repelled by it. Some sharks may prefer fish, while others may prefer seals or turtles. Some sharks may hunt alone, while others may hunt in groups or cooperate with other species. Myth 10. Bees die after they sting you. This is a myth that is true for some bees, but not for all of them. Only honeybees die after they sting you, because their stingers are barbed and get stuck in your skin, along with part of their abdomen and digestive tract. This causes them to die shortly after. However, other bees, such as bumblebees and carpenter bees, have smooth stingers that can be pulled out and used again. They can sting you multiple times without dying. They also have venom glands that can inject more or less venom depending on the situation. Myth 11. You can tell the age of a tree by counting its rings. This is a myth that is mostly true, but not always. You can tell the age of a tree by counting its rings, but only if the tree grows one ring per year. Some trees, such as tropical trees or evergreen trees, may grow more than one ring or no rings at all in a year, depending on the climate and the conditions. Other factors, such as fire, disease, or injury, may also affect the growth and appearance of the rings. So, counting the rings is not a foolproof method to determine the age of a tree. You also need to consider the type of tree, the location of the tree, and the history of the tree. And that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed learning some new facts about animals and how amazing they are. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.